Hello friends, today we have here this iPhone 6 and the problem on it is the Wi-Fi. When I try to connect to the Wi-Fi here, exactly right here, I turn on the Wi-Fi, and when I turn on the Wi-Fi, I try to turn it on like this. It's not responding. As you see, the Wi-Fi is grayed out. There is another way to log into the Wi-Fi. You just swipe from the bottom to the top like this, and you will see these options here. When you click, as you see, the airplane is black but the Wi-Fi is grayed out. So when you click on it to turn it on, it's not responding at all. So you cannot use the Wi-Fi on this iPhone. So to fix this problem, there is like one method. I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not, but let's try it. And before we try this method, we're gonna do the settings first. So before we try the hardware solutions, we need to try the software solutions. So for the software solution, we're just gonna do some settings. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go here to settings, and from settings we're gonna go to general, and from general we're gonna scroll down to this option reset. Hit reset, and you have these options here: reset all settings, erase all content and settings, reset network settings. So this is the option we need. Make sure don't try the second one, because if you try this one you will lose your information. Erase all content and settings, so don't touch that one if you don't want to lose your information. So what I'm gonna do now, I will reset only the network settings. It tells me here reset network settings to the defaults. I will hit yes, and the phone will reboot, and after that I will test it. It may take like 1 or 2 minutes. Let's wait. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to settings. It looks like this phone is slow a little bit. And this may be a sign that the problem is hardware, not software. Okay, so once we open the Wi-Fi here, I'm just gonna go to Wi-Fi, and they will try to turn it on. It's not turning on at all. Okay, so we still have the same problem. So now we can like go ahead and check the hardware. For the hardware, we have two options. We have this cable here. I don't know if you see it good. It's inside this plastic. So this cable is for the Wi-Fi, and it works for the Wi-Fi and GPS at the same time. And what you're gonna do, you need to replace this cable on this phone. I will show you how to replace it. In my case, I already replaced this cable and it doesn't work yet, because I put the phone back together, it's not working. That's why I have the cable here. And I will show you how to replace this cable, and also I will show you the other solution which is supposed to fix the Wi-Fi problem, the grayed out Wi-Fi. Okay, so let's open this phone. To open this phone, we will need some tools: pin-type screwdriver, and we will open these two screws in the bottom here. I have one screw here is not coming out. I got it. Turn off the phone. And once I turn off the phone, I will use this IC Sami. Open the phone like this. I'm just going quick on the way how to open this phone, because there are like many tutorials how to open it. Alright, so once we open the screen like this, we have this bracket here. So we remove this bracket. By the way, I'm like keeping everything organized, the screws and everything. And the second thing, before I start like disconnecting the cables, I have to disconnect the battery. You have this bracket right here, which is on top of the battery cable. Disconnect the battery. I'm using my nail. I disconnect the cable, and then now I will disconnect the screen cables. Okay, so now we will disconnect. We will take off the motherboard out from here. So to take off the motherboard, we need to disconnect first the cables that are connected to it. This is the charging port, and I'm gonna use these tweezers to disconnect this cable from here. This is the Wi-Fi, not the Wi-Fi, the network cable signal. And I will use the same thing to pop up the SIM card. And I will disconnect the camera cable, is right here. This is the rear facing camera. And now it's time to open the screws. For the screws, I have one screw here and another one here. I keep these screws organized, and I will try to remember every screw so I can put it back to its place. We have here this bracket here on the top. It's holding the cables for the power button and the volume up and down. Disconnect this cable, disconnect the other cable. Okay, so now we have this here in the corner. This is the GPS part. I will open the screws and keep them organized. You may mix them up easy, these screws here, so make sure you remember everything and like draw like a pattern how to remember them. So this is the GPS part. I will put it right here next to the screws, and I have here this piece here which has two screws also. This one will come here. It's not easy to put all the screws back together to its original place, so make sure to remember them perfectly. So once you take off all the screws, we have one weird screw here. We're gonna use the flat screwdriver to open it. This is the flat screwdriver. So the weird screw is right here. This one is double screw. It has on the top of it, it has a hole where another screw goes in, and we're gonna use only this screwdriver to open it. By the way, because this screwdriver is not made to open this screw here. Sometimes when you try to open it, it's gonna slip in this area here, and it may damage like some component here. As you see here, we have some components here. Make sure this screwdriver is not slipping and damage something there. Okay, Alright, so we're gonna put this one right here. I think now the motherboard is like free from all the screws, so we're just gonna lift it up like this, and voila, this is the motherboard. So we're gonna put the rest aside. So this cable is right here. Cable I was like talking about is this one. You see this cable here? You can just disconnect it like this. Use just your nails and don't force. Disconnect it gently. As you see, I disconnected. And you take the new cable and you put it there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I will put this cable back, because I know that the problem is not from the cable. I already replaced it. Make sure these connection points are 100% on top of its connection before you try to snap them. I mean, to make some pressure on top of them to connect them. Okay, these two are connected, and we have these two here. I'm connecting them perfectly. Okay, it's connected. And after you've done this, you just put the motherboard back and put the phone back together. This may solve the problem, but if the Wi-Fi is not, it's grayed out, is not turning on at all, I think this solution is not gonna help you replacing this cable. So that's why we're gonna do something extra. The something extra, what we're gonna do, we're gonna reflow this component here, this chip. This is the one which is responsible for the network and these things. So what I'm gonna do, I will put some solder paste on it. This is the solder paste. You can, if you don't have the solder paste, it's not a big deal. You can use like just the heat gun and heat it up, as you see. And I will cover the other, I will cover this part because it's gonna, when I use the heat gun, it will like burn. So it's better to cover it with this kind of tape, the copper tape. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I will cover this like this. As you see, and also I will cover the component which I'm gonna heat or heat up. No, I don't have to cover it. I'm sorry. So just cover the area which is next to it, because this one I need to heat it up and they need to see the thing is like moving there. So for that I will use this one, this heat gun. If you don't have this one, you can use the hair dryer, something like this. In my case, I will use this one, and I will just heat up this. Make sure don't heat it up too much. And now I will, as you see, I heat it up just like a couple minutes, not couple minutes, maybe couple seconds. And now I will remove this tape. and now I will put this motherboard back here. That's all what I have to do. Okay, make sure there is no cables underneath the motherboard. Okay, if you feel like it's like moving, try to check what's the problem. And then now what I'm gonna do, I will connect these cables back. This one, the camera cable, the power button, the volume up and volume down, and this antenna. Make sure every cable is matching 100%. Okay. Alright, so the battery is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna connect. Now I'm gonna start putting the screws which are on the motherboard. So let's start from this one, small little thing. To put this screw back, it's not easy. Alright, so I put everything back together. And now it's time to connect the screen. So it's time to connect the battery. We turn the phone on just to save some time, and just turn it on because it will take some time to turn on. And voila, put the screen back. 2 screws in the bottom with the pentalobe screwdriver. Okay, so as you see, the phone is on. Go to settings. It will still take some time. One more time, again to settings. So here on the settings, as you see, Wi-Fi, and this is the Wi-Fi. Turn it on. It's not working. So what I'm gonna do, I will just go here, scroll down, try to turn it on from here. It's not working. And the second thing the third thing, or the last thing I'm gonna do, is go to general, reset the Wi-Fi setting or the network setting as I did in the beginning, and we will wait a little bit. Okay, the phone is on now. Let's test it one more time. Turn it on. Turn this off. Okay, as you see, it's still grayed out. It doesn't work. So the solution I tried, it's not the right solution to fix this problem. And if you see like something like this anywhere, just don't do it, because it's not gonna solve your problem. It may solve it, but not 100%. The chance is like 50% chance. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.